And today I'll be taking us through a session setting up a pipeline with a manual approval in our AWS code pipeline. So we have the diagram here. So it's basically to set up AWS code pipeline. Let me brighten the light so we can have a clear view. Setting up AWS code pipeline with manual approval. So my name is Blessing Olale. I'm a certified cloud architect and a DevOps engineer. So basically what we're going to be doing during this session is to set up a pipeline with a manual approval in our AWS code pipeline. That implies that whenever a developer is making a commit to our repository, we're going to put in place a manual approval that will notify the QA team. I mean, a notification to notify the QA team so they can have an approval on the pipeline prior deployment phase of the pipeline. So this particular pipeline is going to be deploying CloudFormation stack. That implies that we're probably not going to employ the build phase of code pipeline. So we're just going to have a commit, and we're going to skip build, and we're going to going to deploy the CloudFormation stack via we're going to deploy via AWS CodeFormation. So let's just this is basically what we're going to do. But let's just start going to our AWS console and start. So like I said earlier, what we're going to basic three steps we're going to be taking out during this session is the first thing we're going to be creating our AWS IAM Row. Then we're going to create an AWS code commit repository and SNS topic. And finally, we're going to create an AWS code pipeline. So those are the three steps we're going to forge in. To start with, we're going to create an AWS IAM row. So basically, we go through here, we look for, so we can we look at security, identity, and compliance, or we can type IAM in the search. So from here, we can see IAM. Click on IAM, it's going to come up. So our objective in IAM is to create a row. So we're going to go into a row and we're going to click on create row. So AWS service, we leave it that way. And then use case, common use case, we have visit to Lambda. For this particular situation, we're going to select CloudFormation for use case. So let's click on this radio icon and click on next. So we're going to set a permission policy right here. So we're going to give it an administrative access just for the sake of this session, but we should always remember the list. So put in place the administrative. Administrator access. So we have administrator access here. So we're going to provide full access to AWS services and resources. So click on next. So we're going to give our role a name. For the name, just give it any name you like. For myself, I'm going to give it pipeline farms for CF. Then we're going to just create a role. So our role has been created. Role pipeline created. So that is the first step in our. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to create an AWS code commit repository alongside an SNS topic. So let's just create a repository. AWS code commit is under the developers tool, so we can see that looking at developers tool. We can also type it here, it's going to come up swiftly, but for the sake of those to know how to get it via the navigation, so developers tool, then code commit, we just click on that. So we're going to click on create repository. So let's just give a repository name. Give it any name you like. So on my own end, I will just give it pipeline for CF. So it's for code for cloud. So I think that's all. Let's go and create a. So now it's been created. We can do a commit into our repository. So we can do a commit to the repository and add a file. Here I opened the GitHub to download this YAML file. It's a CloudFormation. So we're just going to download it. It's a YAML template for CloudFormation stack. So let's click on it. You probably could have so then let's just click on raw, then save this file as s3, remember, .yaml. Then we can save it. Tag, let's give it an origin tag. Save. It's telling me I have this before, just replace it. So then let's go and do it and add the file. So add the file, upload, choose file, s3, 3. So this is a file right here. Just add a file. And the author's name, blessing. Always remember, most this is probably going to be the developers doing the commits. So then this the email for the person doing the commit. So I'm just gonna put blessing. Just remember this the email for anyone doing the commit. So But for the sake of this lesson, I'm going to use the same email for both the developer and the QA team that are going to be notified for the. So we can just commit. So we've done a commit. So the next thing we're going to do is to create our SNS topic and subscribe to it. So to do that, just come here, we type SNS, it's gonna come up, then you just click on it. So we're going to create a topic, and we're going to give a topic a name. So you can give it any name you like. For myself, I'm going to give it manual approve. Next. Manual approve. So leave it the same, just let's leave that out. Then just create the topic. Then we can create subscription to subscribe to the topic. So we already have the ARN automatically filled in for the SNS. So for the protocol, we're going to put it as email. So these are the possible options for this session. We are using just email. So you can have an Amazon Kinesis data files, Amazon SQS Lambda. You can have different HTTP, HTTPS platform application endpoint SMS. For our endpoint here, we're just going to employ email. And remember, this is the endpoint, this is the email for the QA team. So just put the email for the QA team. So definitely it's going to be different from the email of the developers. So, but for this session, because I'm doing both the commit and the approver, I'm acting as both the developer and the QA team member. So I'm going to use my email, the same email I used earlier. So that's just that. So you can move ahead and create subscription. So it says pending confirmation. Let's just go into the email to confirm. So we have an email here. So just click on confirm subscription. So let's go back to our AWS console, and we can basically refresh. So we can see it's been confirmed there. So we can from henceforth receive a notification. The QA team can receive a notification from henceforth. So that has been done. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create our AWS CodePipeline. So CodePipeline is a developer tool. We can type CodePipeline, it will come up easily, but to know, so it's actually part of the developer tool. So this is a developer tools. These are the developer tools. So we just look for CodePipeline. So here is it. Release software using continuous delivery. So we can click on create pipeline and give a pipeline a name. So for the name, I'm going to give it manual approval pipeline. Approval pipeline. So for the advanced setting, just leave it as a default location and default AWS managed key. This for the encryption. So we're not using the custom managed key. In this case, we have to do it ourselves, So AWS is going to manage the encryption in this case. So and for the default location for the artifact is basically after the build has been done. So but in this situation we're actually not doing any build, so just click next. So our provider for the source is where is our repository. It's not S3, it's not ACR, it's code commit. It's not Bitbucket, but these are possible options that can be used. So for this case, for the sake of exam, just try and know these possible options, of a source for code pipeline or for code builds. These are sources where our code could be stored as a repository. So let's just click, and if we are using S3, in such case S3 is always versioned. So let's give our repository a name. I'm sorry, let's just select it. Remember we already had that given to the repository layer. So what branch? So it's going to be the main branch. So then AWS CloudWatch events, we're going to leave it that way. Code pipeline default, we're going to leave it that way. So just click on next. So for a provider, you can either use CodeBuild or Jenkins for a build stage. However, for this particular, we are not doing a build, so we're going to skip it. Remember, we are deploying a CloudFormation template, so it's asking us if we're going to skip this build stage. Yes. So a pipeline could be with or without either a build or a deploy stage. Probably one of those could be exempted, but not both of them. So in this case, we are exempting our build because of what we're actually going to deploy, which is CloudFormation does not require build. So for a deploy stage and a deploy provider, so we're going to use CloudFormation. Then just leave it. We're using US East or North Virginia. Then our action mode, create or update a stack, selected. So our stack name, so artifact name, source, then file name, Remember so it's gonna be S3. Our file name, that is our YAML file in the repository. S3 return.yaml. So remember our row. So we just click on next. Then let us create a pipeline. Hopefully we have a successful deployment. So there's still something pending. We seems to have a deployment in progress successful. Hopefully it's going to be successful. So but we are supposed to add our, so it's successful, is in progress. That means it's successfully able to pull the pull our documents, our file from our repository, and it's doing a deployment. But remember, we're not supposed to have the objective of this section of this lesson is to create a check proud deployment, so that it's gonna be more like a delivery, not a full deployment. So in that way, the QA team can have a check proud deployment. So we're still gonna put that in place to curb the developer having a deployment without the QA team. So we're gonna curb that. We're gonna stop that, and the only way to stop one of the way to stop that is by putting another stage of approval in between the source stage and the deployment stage. So that's probably going to be like an approval stage. So but let us see this being done successfully. So we have succeeded. So it has been succeeded. So we can just click on our cloud formation. So the update is, I just see what we have here. You can see our stack ID, our status update complete. So let's go back to and put something in place. So at this place, we're going to put in place another staging between the source and the deploy for the QA team to be able to give an approval before deployment is done anytime the developer does a commit or during this pipeline for any deployment to be done. So we're going to click on edit. So So in between these two, we're going to click on add stage. I'm going to give our stage a name. It's a simple name, manual. Approve. Approver. Or we can make manual approve either way. And add a stage. So I'm going to click on add action group. Let's give our action group a name. You can leave it as similar name as we had earlier. Manual approver, action provider, manual approver. So we have our ARN popping up for SNS. So these are optionals, we can leave them out, we don't really need them. So let me just save. Click on save. So we can see it's in place but didn't run yet. So to run, we just click on release, change, then click on release. So now we can see it's been executed, and we need to review this. So the review now is to be done by the QA team. So we can see once we clicked on the release change, we had this a change of status that tells us that a notification has been sent to the QA team. So the QA team now have an email. Approval needed, AWS CodePipeline manual approval, pipeline for action manual approval. Hello, the following approval action is waiting for your response. So that means pipeline details, pipeline name, manual approval pipeline, stage name, manual approval, action name, manual approval, region US East 1. So now the QA team now, member of the QA team or whoever will receive this email and head to the console and click on review. So once for the URL for review, we ought to put that earlier. So if the URL is in place, basically all the QA team has to do is just click on this URL and we'll be able to view that details. So I didn't put that earlier because I did a commit. So in this case, once the QA team member clicked on the details of the stacks and see the effectiveness without an error, without anything, basically can just give their comment, approval or disapproval. So it's been approved. So basically that is what the whole session is all about. We can see how we're able to go about the entire process and then achieve our objective, setting up a pipeline with a manual approval in AWS CodePipeline. This is a CodePipeline is a developer tools, and we're able to see how that process is being done alongside the QA team for a quality and effective delivery of of the cloud formation stack for provisioning of the AWS infrastructure for a particular course. So that will be the end of this session. Thank you once again, everyone. You can subscribe to my channel and then get notified anytime there's a new video. Once again, thank you once again for watching and have a wonderful time. See you next time.